Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a Screenwriter's Rant on Death on the Nile from 20th Century Fox, a big production of a movie that's been made many, many times. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books. But more importantly, check out my other channels. My other channels are now on Bitchute, Rumble, and Odysee. I just joined Odysee. When I got banned for a week, I got banned for a week on YouTube because I got a strike. And if you want to hear why, go watch my old videos for the past week, which you may or may not have missed. And you can see them all. I still make 4 videos a day. I don't care about YouTube. I mean, I want their money, but they're going to kick me off. They're going to kick me off. I got kicked off for an old video. It was at least a year old when I was still putting news blasts up here once in a while. So I may still get permanent strikes, and if I get 2 more strikes, I'm out. 2 more strikes. So I got a warning strike, and then immediately, like 3 days later, I got my first actual strike. That kicks you off of YouTube for a week. The next strike I get will kick me off of YouTube for 2 weeks. That happened to Steven Crowder. He's got his second strike on his channel. He's also on Rumble, if you want to watch him. So I fully expected to be kicked off the platform at some point. They're going to go through my old videos. The only question is, my channel's so small, when will they get to me? I don't know. I don't know. If by March I lose the strike, and then I'm back down to 0 strikes, right? And then I get another one, I'll be where I am now. I'll be off for another week or whatever. Anyhow, I'll still make the videos regardless. If you want to see my more base takes on news and other things, and I talked about it when it happened, so I'm not going to talk about it again. I can't even really tell you why I got struck. I don't even really know. I can say that it was a news blast. I can't say the subjects that I think they picked on, that they thought I said something, but I assure you I am not a bad person, and I didn't say anything untoward. I try not to curse on these streams. In fact, I just did a take of this, and I said the S word, and I went, S. And then I had to start over. But let's get into movies, because that's why we're here. So from here on in, all the YouTube stuff, I can't put any political stuff on here. YouTube, in my view, is politically biased. They're picking on anybody who doesn't toe the message. So don't look for any very base takes on YouTube. I'll have 2 videos here. Maybe I'll get down to 1 at some point. If I feel that that a take is particularly based on a movie, I'll just have to put it on the other channels. But it's Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble. The links are below. Now, Death on the Nile looks fantastic. I mean, just looks fantastic. Gal Gadot, what a treasure. She is just gorgeous. She has movie star good looks, doesn't she? Truly movie star good looks. I know, she's the it girl, but man, she looks good. She looks great in this. This is a fabulous, luxurious movie. And the story is, worthy of all this fanfare, I think. You got Kenneth Branagh in the lead, playing the French detective whose name I can't properly pronounce. At first I saw the trailer title, I was like, oh my god, they're doing Death on the Nile again, but this really looks like a good version of it. It really does. I mean, I've seen other versions of it on A&E, and they were pretty good, but they were more low budget affairs. Like, you don't see these sweeping, look at this beautiful scenery here. It really gets a sense of where they are, as opposed to the A&E stuff, which, might have a scene like this, but it would be in much tighter. You wouldn't get this like sweeping stuff. And obviously this is CGI, but it looks great. Looks great. So this is a big production. Oh, again, fabulous. And it's about a murder. It's a murder mystery. Death on the Nile. Like, instead of a train, it's a boat. That's basically it. But it's a good version of this. I mean, a classic version. So the premise is these people have gathered on a boat. They're all rich and fabulous. And they're going to Egypt to see stuff. That's the one thing they can't CGI, right? I mean, that's I don't know if it looked much better back in that day. Probably not. I don't know. I wonder if they altered it for the movie. Be interesting to do a comparison. Um, but of course, the first act, they're all on the boat and they're all fabulous, and you know, there's some hints at what's going to happen at the end of the first act, which is probably relatively early in. There's a murder, and the great detective has to solve it. So he spends a huge second act accumulating evidence, and there's fallout from the murder and who did what, and they do things. They go on shore. There's more attempts. Eventually, at least one other person is murdered, and in the third act, he locks everybody in a room and he figures it out. This is February. It comes out. So you can see there's a lot of big stars in this. A lot of big stars. And man, it's just, it looks like a fabulous version, I gotta say. I'm not normally impressed by this kind of bells and whistles, but the thing is, this is a good story. It's a classic story. If you haven't seen it, this will be a good version. You've got a lot of big cast members here. It's called Death on the Nile. Let's go through the cast here. Tom Bateman, Annette Bening, Kenneth Branagh, Russell Brand. Surprised to see Russell Brand. He doesn't look like his normal wacky self. Ali Fazal, I don't know him. Dawn French I've seen before. Gal Gadot, of course. Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer is back. Get this going. Okay. Murder was just the beginning. So maybe this is going to be a... okay. So Armie Hammer, Rose Leslie, Emma McKay, Sophie, can't pronounce that, Jennifer Saunders. Big fan of her. She's from Absolutely Fabulous, if you haven't seen that show. And Letitia Wright from Black Panther. So glad to see she's in some other movies. Glad to see her not being, didn't affect this. So looks fantastic. Really does. February 11th. I'll go see this movie. Oh, yeah. So let's take a look. Based upon a novel by Agatha Christie, of course. Screenplay by Michael Green. And directed by Kenneth Branagh. Oh, this is going to be good. He's such a good director for this kind of stuff. I mean, and even like he directed the first Thor. He was great. It was great. I love him. He's the lead. He's directing. This is going to be a fantastic movie. Even if you've seen it, I think it's going to be fantastic. Ridley Scott produced. Oh, come on. This is going to be bravo. So go see Death on the Nile, February 11th. You have your assignment. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on the other platforms, and we'll see you in the next one.